I hope you're ready for our last lesson of the day, and our last lesson for today is going to be a science lesson. In this science lesson, we are going to try to do 2 experiments, okay? So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do them here by myself, and then in the similar way you can try and do it by your home. You can first try it by yourself and then maybe ask somebody from your house if they want to give it a go, okay? So you're not going to mix anything, there's not going to be any eruptions. It's a very simple thing. Okay, but before we get to that, let's first take a look back and remember what we talked about in our last class. So to remind you, I have this picture here. Sorry, laptop. I have a picture of a mouth. Why was mouth important? Let's think. Mouth. Were we talking about speaking? No. We were talking about our senses. Do you remember how many senses we have? Well, let's go like this. We use our mouth and tongue for our sense of taste. So that's the first one, okay? We can see that sight, 2, hear, 3, hearing, smell, 4, and finally touch, 5. We have 5 senses, okay? So let's just go through these cards to remember what we talked about last time. So our mouth we use for our sense of taste. When we listen to music, we're using our sense of hearing. If we want to smell a flower or a plant, it's the sense of smell, okay? Anytime when we eat anything, we are activating our sense of taste. The same as for ice cream and for apple. Petting an animal, we are using our sense of touch. Our hands are the body part that we use mostly when we talk about our sense of touch. Our nose, we use it for smelling. Again, our ears are used for hearing. Nose and smell. Eyes are used for our sense of sight. Touch. Eye for sight. And again, another eye. Never mind which color your eye is, you're using it for sight. Okay, so to revise a bit further, we've sent you this video. I'm just going to play 30 seconds here, okay? And then at home, if you want, you can watch more.
English Sing. 5 senses. I can see. I can see with my eyes. See. See. Eyes. Eyes. I can hear.
Okay, so you can watch more at home if you want to revise all the important words when we're talking about our 5 senses. Now, what we're going to talk about today, now that we've remembered which are our 5 senses, starting from today and every next lesson, we are going to focus at one sense at a time, okay? And today, the sense we are going to talk about is a sense which is specific because for this sense, we use the biggest organ in our body. Do you remember what's the biggest organ in our body? Your brain? Your legs? Your legs are not an organ. What's the biggest organ in our body? The biggest organ in our body is our skin. So imagine this. Almost every part of your body that you can see is covered in skin, okay? So this is why the skin is the biggest organ in our body. So what we're going to talk about today again is the sense of touch, okay? So I hope you can see this well. We've also sent it for you to look at home, okay? So we're today talking about touch. And okay, so at the end of this class, here you have a list what you should know. So by the end of this class, you should be able to say the names of all 5 senses. You should be able to name the parts of the hand, and I can discuss what we can do with this sense. And you will be able to say what we can experience, what information we can find out using our sense of touch. Because remember, our senses are explorers in our body. All the information that we know about what's going on around us, we get those informations from these little detectives, from our senses. Okay? So first thing that we're going to learn are parts of our hands. Why? Well, as I said, for touch, for the sense of touch, we use our entire skin. So for example, if you're walking in your garden and your cat happens to pass by your leg, you're going to feel the touch of the cat's hair on your leg. But that sense, it's not going to be as strong as if you took your hand and touched the cat. Why? Well, look at your hands. Your hands has many different pieces. And actually what happens here is that your skin covers a lot of area. It goes all over your fingers, between your fingers, okay? So you have quite a lot of skin here. And then there are a lot of nerves in your, especially in your hands. Nerves are these like tiny little, how should I explain? Vessels, no, not vessels, but like lines, something inside your hands that actually helps you to feel things. Yes, okay, so our hands are very sensitive and we use them. This is the body part that we chose to use mostly for touch, okay? So we're going to learn the parts of our hands, okay? So first you have this part right before our hands actually begin. It's a joint and it's called a wrist, okay? So on your legs you have ankle, between your leg and your foot, and on between your arm and your hand you have your wrist, okay? What is next? On the tip, on the upper part of each of your fingers, you have your nails. Okay, the nails in your hands are the parts of your hands which are most obviously growing and changing. If you don't clip your nails every week or two, they're going to grow quite long and they can scratch you. Now, feeling a scratch, to feel a scratch, that is using your sense of touch. So you can already see that your sense of touch, with your sense of touch, you can feel things which are nice and pleasant, but also things which are unpleasant. Okay, so we had wrist, nails. Now this finger, which is very flexible and moves more than any other finger, is called thumb. Yeah? Now, you here had your wrist. I said that's a kind of a joint. And also, joint is a part where bones meet and you can move a body part, okay? So also, you have those little joints on your fingers. So each finger has 3, one here, and one here. And these are called the knuckles, okay? Knuckles. Okay? Knuckles, fingers, you know that already. And this part here is called the palm of your hand. Okay, so this is not the palm of your hand, this is the top of your hand, but this is the palm of your hand. Okay, and all in all, your hands are covered in skin. So one more time, wrist, nails, thumb, fingers, palm. Okay, these are the parts of your hands. Now what we're going to do, I am going to use my hands, okay, right now to do a little experiment. So this experiment is explained here in the presentation. If you want, you can click through it later at home but I'm also going to explain here what we're going to do, okay? So, I have here a bag full of things, but I cannot see these things. You can. So I'm going to use my hands and my fingers and the skin of my hands, okay, to try to recognize these things, what they are. Now this is going to be very fun for you because as you're watching the video, you will be able to see those things and I won't. So let's see how well I guess. I'm going to start with one thing, okay? And then I'm going to pause this video. Okay, so here's the first thing. I'm looking away because I'm taking it up like this so you can see it on the camera. Okay, so this thing has, I would say, a shape of a cylinder. Yeah, so this is like a circle and then it has a shape of a cylinder. It has smooth surface. Okay, I can see it has a very smooth surface, but it's not the same. Here, there is nothing, but here I can see that there is an extra piece, so I think that this is a can of food. It is, it's a sauce. Okay, we'll continue with this in a minute.